I don't have
the growth in black spending power. Frank.
Hey, good morning to you, Andrew. Black spending power reached a record $1.6 trillion in 2021. The ability to buy, save, and invest more than doubling since 2000. That growth exceeding the full U.S. economy, but actually lagging other ethnic groups. Latinos with a 288% increase, Asians with a 388% increase in spending power. However, other groups have also seen an increase in their net worth. Black Americans instead have seen their wealth actually fall by 14%. And with the S&P gaining 27% last year, the value of U.S. homes increasing by 31% last year, many black leaders are asking the black community to really rethink how it spends.
This is disturbing.
So, the agenda, right? America always, my whole life, America always do like statistics. 85% of blacks get more cancer than 3% of the Latinos, and 50% of the blacks are subjected to have more high blood pressure than the whites, and this and this and that. They always doing some fake comparing shit. We already know this country lies and inflate numbers and shit like that, because they've been doing it the whole epidemic. You know what I'm saying? They saying a lot of people caught the whatever, the CV shit, and they saying, oh, this amount of people died because of this and that. We already know these niggas lie. They keep lying forever. They lying. If I break my leg right now and die, they'll say it was COVID. You know what I'm saying? So we know these niggas always lie about everything. They lie about their statistics. They lie when they compare different ethnicities, and they always trying to demonize black people. You know what I'm saying? A person that always try to get the reflection off of them and point the reflection at and always pointing to somebody else, something is wrong. Something is wrong. You got to be wary of people like that. They always want to focus and point on others. That's to get the heat off themselves. You know what I'm saying? These niggas always trying to downplay black people. So we so far behind in everything. Why are we the majority in the NBA? Why are we the majority in NFL? Why are we the majority in music? Hip-hop is the #1 music genre in the world. You know what I'm saying? And then why, R&B and why this and why that and why this? They always try to downplay us out of everybody. And mind you, we're the natives. We're the indigenous. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else came here from other countries. All blacks that's here didn't come from other countries. All of us that came here didn't come from Africa. Some of us was already here. Indigenous. You know what I'm saying? Indigenous people. But then they named us a bunch of other names and stuff like that. And this, I don't want to offend, my friends of Caucasian descent and stuff like that. I don't want to offend them, because there is good people in every ethnicity, race, color, and creed. But this go for the bad ones. For people who have heavy ancestral influence in their family and to be descendants of reptilians and cave dwellers and lived in caves and crawled on all fours and was in the dark ages and had bubonic plagues and had diseases and crabs and lice and syphilis and came over here starving and almost died, but needed the natives to teach y'all how to hunt and clothe yourself. For people with no true culture, and this is according to damn, I forgot the white lady name that fast, but for people who don't have no culture and don't have no real influence on the world, the American dollar is printed up paper. So basically that's inflated currency. That's not real currency of value. We know gold, silver, the elements of the earth is real value. And a great amount of gold comes from Africa, a great amount of diamonds and different other elements. That American currency, that's printed up paper. These niggas created a game and they make the rules to this monopoly game. So they always gonna be ahead of us in that aspect, because the money game is their invention. when the Pilgrims and the Vagabonds first pulled up here, they didn't have no dollar bills or no money. So we know Eisenhower, the Rockefellers, and all of them, all these people, you know, George Washington and them, we know they all created the currency. And that was a game, because as long as they constantly press the money up, they could always give theyself, hold on, they could always give theyself a head start. We all know the house in Vegas never really loses. So that's the same thing that applies to America. Yeah, y'all print up the money, y'all make all the laws, there's little loopholes in the laws where y'all get little secret grants and tax write-offs and this and this and that. People don't, when you hear stuff like that, statistics and all this comparable stuff, don't let that shit affect you. Stay in your lane. Because the true wealth is good genetics, good DNA. The sun ain't roasting our skin. We have a high fertility rate. You know, we don't have birth defects and different shit like that. We don't have genetic mutations. We do, but we don't. And what I mean by we do, we know there's every race, color, creed, and ethnicity have tarnished offspring. But overall, you know, we the cream of the crop, man. You know what I'm saying? And these people and then what's crazy is they had a black dude narrating that. That was like a man of color. I don't know if he was necessarily black, meaning African American descent, but he was a person of hue. He was a man of color, and he was the one speaking. You know, all these people of color that work for the news and stuff like that, we know they're paid oppositions. But we passed that one. Let's go to the next one.
Seminole, and in fact the word Seminole is not even an Indian word. It is derived from a Spanish word, cimarron, meaning runaway slave. And so from the beginning, you don't have an Indian tribe. It was a multi-ethnic coalition.
Historical evidence documents their close relationship. Blacks became chiefs, signed treaties, and served on the tribal council. They intermarried. They were equals, Opala says, and the Indians depended on them as warriors and interpreters. Now, nearly 200 years later, comes the $56 million payment from the federal government to compensate the tribe for those lost Florida lands. But the black Seminoles can't share in it because the government and the tribe say they were slaves of the red Seminoles back then. Joe Opala, who has worked to preserve their legacy, says that's wrong.
The black Seminoles fought side by side, died.
Fucking train. We gotta listen to this again, please. Pardon me for the train. I didn't want to pause the video and all that, you know, but let's listen to this again real quick.
Bled for those lands in Florida. Seminole, and in fact the word Seminole is not even an Indian word. It is derived from a Spanish word, cimarron, meaning runaway slave. And so from the beginning, you don't have an Indian tribe. It was a multi-ethnic coalition.
Historical evidence documents their close relationship. Blacks became chiefs, signed treaties, and served on the tribal council. They intermarried. They were equals, Opala says, and the Indians depended on them as warriors and interpreters. Now, nearly 200 years later, comes the $56 million payment from the federal government to compensate the tribe for those lost Florida lands. But the black Seminoles can't share in it because the government and the tribe say they were slaves of the red Seminoles back then. Joe Opala, who has worked to preserve their legacy, says that's wrong.
The black Seminoles fought side by side, died, bled for those lands in Florida. Seminole, and in fact the word Seminole is not even an Indian word.
You see the divide and conquer shit? The blacks, there's two Seminoles, right? You have the Indian native Seminoles, or whoever they call Indian, and then you have the original Seminoles, which is the black people, because the word Seminole comes from the Spanish word Seminole, which means runaway slave. Y'all heard him say that. We know the Sayaks, the Mohawks, the Blackfoots. Yeah, those was Indian tribes, but the Seminoles was specifically blacks. It was Indians too, but you know, they play a lot of word games. And then being that, you know, every time an elder dies, a library dies. So our grandmothers, our great-great-grandmothers, our great-great-great-great-grandmothers and grandfathers, they're not here to no longer tell us the story and the truth. So now they could switch the history. The kids, the European kids or the descendants of these slave masters and these colonizers and vagabonds, they could switch the narrative now because our elders is gone. So that's like right now while I'm here, we in 2022, and I was around for the 80s and the early 90s and everything. But now if all the OGs die and all the people who was around in that era die, dudes can reinvent the narrative. And that's kind of like what's going on with hip-hop too, in a way. I want to say this real quick with the Drakes, because you know his mother white and his father's supposed to be black, but his mother was a white Jew. He's a Jew. You know, we got the French Montana. He's from Morocco, Africa, but he's of Arab descent. And then he's real light-skinned, but then they saying he's from the Bronx. And then we got the DJ Khaled, and then we got the J. Cole. His mother's white, but they saying he half black and half white. So 200 years from now, when there's no more Chaos One and Rakim or none of them, they gonna point to people like Eminem, J. Cole, Drake, and people gonna think hip-hop was white. You know, this why, like, when the elders, like, if y'all got elders in your family, your tribe and all that, and they still alive, you gotta milk your elders for information. You gotta pick their brain for knowledge. And then when you get the knowledge, you pass it on to your kids. When I grew up, my grandmother and all my friends, grandmothers and great-grandmothers, they always played soul music in the house. R&B, jazz, blues. They played all the black genres of music, the real rock and roll. And what I mean by the real rock and roll is the inventors, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, you know what I'm saying? Jimi Hendrix, the black rock and roll, the real rock and roll. So, you know, my family played all of this in the house so we could stay in tune. You know, all the black families played this in the house so that the kids grew up listening to their culture. But now the kids listen to drill and trap music. Drill music is not hip-hop. Drill music is rap. Anything can be rap. Pop music can be rap. Marky Mark was a part of the Funky Bunch. They was a pop rap band. Dr. Seuss raps and rhymes, so that don't mean he's hip-hop. So drill music is rap, but it ain't hip-hop. It's a noisy sound of like gangbang music. And same thing with trap. It's a down south version of drug dealer like rap, but that shit is not hip hop. And y'all gotta study hip hop to understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But so when the elders leave, these people change the narrative of what really happened. And it's sad, man. They invest a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of energy in always burying and covering the truth. They put a lot of energy in always backstabbing, underhanding, undermining, and doing deviant things. When people put that much energy and time into always covering truth, they're hiding something really bad. They're hiding something really, 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 really bad. And it's up to y'all to dig, to be studious, and to be diligent in your duties and your research to learn. Y'all gotta be thirsty students on this quest and this journey to gain this correct information. Anyway, man, you know, it's late, man. It's 3 in the morning. Bunch of garbage trucks and trains running around, man. But, you know, I just want to tell y'all, man, stay woke, man. You know, the future's going to get a lot darker, man. The narratives is going to change. You know, they going to start, you know, military going to start pulling up. Soon, remember, 2030 is around the corner. The global depopulation agenda, forced vaccines, All that stuff, man, they creeping on us, man. Stay blessed. Iron.